Guys, a pretty flat day in the market today, but there was a lot of things that happened. We're going to talk about 4 or 5 main things. First off, it's kind of a hard list to read, but these are the stocks who all hit 52-week highs today. Berkshire Hathaway, Costco, which we'll get to shortly, Walmart, JP Morgan, Coca-Cola, Amex, 3M, Allstate, Boston Scientific. I mean, oh God, there's so many. NASDAQ, so many things hit. Incredible, guys. Ferrari. Oh, boy, don't get me started on Ferrari. Yeah, exactly, Mo. You laughed at Ferrari. Why'd you laugh at Ferrari?
It's a good company.
Great company that I've wanted to own for a long time. I think I've just been mispricing it this entire time. British American Tobacco, 52-week high, BTI. A few companies in there I own. And the point I want to make to you is I had no idea. Today, Mo texted me and said, hey, Paul, we're up 180% in our Sprouts Farmers Market. 189% in our Sprouts Farmers Market position. I was like, Jesus, no idea. The reason I'm bragging about that is I want you to realize that I buy companies, and I buy companies for the way they're going to do in the next 10 or 20 years. I could not care less how they do on a daily basis. I rarely log into my brokerage. In fact, I'm so big on it that my brokerage house at Merrill, I tell them, guys, here are the things I want you to do with my account. Go do them so I don't have to go log in and do it. Why? I don't want that bias of looking at my stock go up and down, my account go up and down, and feel anxious or excited or euphoric or anything about that. That's what we're trying to teach on this channel, on our main channel. So guys, do me a favor. If you like that idea of changing the way you think, if you like the idea of hearing 4 or 5 videos a week about the markets, whether they're going up, down, left, right, whatever it is, and do me a favor, subscribe to the channel. That's all I want you to do. And if you feel a little saucy, if you like Twitter, I am very active on Twitter. Paul G. I'm very active on there. I have over 4,500 tweets. I do polls. I do everything. I actually have an active poll right now about Nvidia. So go in there right now at @EMPaulG. Follow me. And then if you're a member of our community, send me a message with your community name as well as your email, and I will follow you back. So big news today. Mark Zuckerberg. Man, this is a doozy. Guys, he came out and said, hey, I was bullied by the Biden-Harris administration to censor some posts, a lot of posts, about COVID and other things like that. And he apologized and said, I'm never going to do this again. Even behind closed doors, when we were approached about this, I felt terrible doing it. Now, in his defense, it was what was perceived to be misinformation. So I'm of the belief that it's free speech. So unless you're yelling fire in a crowded theater, if people, listen, Mo, we were talking about the wedding, about conspiracy theories, right? Listen, conspiracy theories are conspiracy theories. I don't care what anybody says. I hate them. I blanket hate them, but they got to be allowed to be said, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, free speech.
And I think Mark Zuckerberg.
Free speech, you got to be able to say it.
Were you shocked when that came out?
Yes.
How could you not? I
thought it was fake.
I thought it was fake too. And then I read in the article and it said, Facebook has confirmed that this is an authentic piece of information.
I thought it was fake.
Yeah. So listen. The good news is Mark Zuckerberg has said, listen, I'm not going to do it. For those of you who get upset about it, about the misinformation, listen, that's part of life. And social media has made it easier for misinformation to get out there. That's why it's important for you to do your own research, understand the issues yourself. Don't react to the Karen next door making some ridiculous statement about what's going on. Another thing that happened in the market today, Costco. It broke $900 a share, Mo.
Jeez.
Can you believe that?
Just keeps going.
Just keeps going. This is a company, guys, that last time I did it, I think it came with a value of $3 or $350, something like that. And it was at 500 and it kept going to 600. This is a company that Charlie Munger said he would never sell. In fairness, he said that at the age of 99 and 7 months, about 3 months before he died. But the point is, he honored his word. He never sold.
Technically, yes.
Guys, Costco's a great company. They have a great business model. They're awesome. Mo loves shopping there. Tim today, we were talking, he goes, I love shopping at 2 places, Lowe's and Costco.
Lowe's, really?
Lowe's is fun. I like going to Lowe's. I'm not even a handyman.
Oh, I like Costco.
You know, it's funny.
I go to Costco probably 2 to 3 times a week.
Really?
2 of them is mostly for gas and 1 is to go in the store.
Yeah, I used to do the gas there.
Yeah.
But I don't think there's a Costco close enough to us now.
Probably not. Maybe that one off the I don't know.
So, yeah, there's one in Mayfield, but I'm too lazy. You know, it was funny. This weekend, I was going to put together this golf, like carrying thing. You know, for the garage, you put your shoes in there.
Yeah.
So it came in the mail, And I took the box apart and I started looking at it. I tried one screw and I was like, I wonder what Damien's doing tomorrow. So Damien's the guy that works for our company and I give him side work on the weekends to come do things at the house. Literally, I texted him like, hey, Damien, can you work tomorrow? He's like, absolutely. I said, sweet, I got some things for you to put together. Why are you shaking your head?
Because you're very handy.
Listen, it's just so impatient. I'm like, I
like putting stuff together.
Do you?
Yeah.
Next time I should have you come over and do it.
Yeah.
Oh.
I like IKEA furniture.
Yeah.
I enjoy doing that.
Do you really?
Yeah.
You're a sociopath.
I want to be alone, put a podcast on and just go at it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's fun.
So I put the speaker on, the Bluetooth speaker from JBL. For 2 minutes it worked, and then all of a sudden it stopped working. I was like, okay. So, guys, Costco up big. Your job, it's a great company. Don't get me wrong. But if you overpay for a good company, you're not going to do very well. When Warren Buffett and Charlie Munger say that to buy a great company, sometimes it's overpay. It feels like overpaying to get it. The point there is feels like overpaying because you might pay 25 or 30 times earnings, but if they're able to keep their revenue going at a good rate, get good return on their invested capital, then it's not really overpaying. It feels like overpaying. That's the key there. Guys, consumer sentiment index came out today. Remember, I've been saying lately that I don't think the consumer is as good as it seems. However, consumer sentiment says, Paul, you're wrong. Mo, what is it saying?
Consumer sentiment hits highest level in 6 months. The number is 103.3. It rose. It's from a revised 101.1 in July.
Oh, wow.
So that was a really significant jump.
That is a significant jump.
And the confidence gauge looking ahead 6 months also rose, 82.5 from 81.1.
Okay, so the consumer is feeling...
What drives that?
Well, they're basically asking people, how do you feel about the economy? How do you feel about your job? How do you feel about all these things?
How it changes that drastically.
Well, because the humans change drastically. You get a week or two. I bet you, I guarantee you.
They probably asked after that Monday. What was it, 2 weeks ago, that Monday where the market crashed 4% or something?
Well, that would have been a negative.
They probably asked on Tuesday.
Because the market rebounded.
It rebounded back up.
But that's what it is. A lot of people feel better because the markets go up and they feel more confident about the future. If all of a sudden the market fell 30% tomorrow with no change in economics, you'd have a consumer sentiment fall drastically. Yeah. I have to think.
Yeah.
Now, I look at the data saying Target, Home Depot, Lowe's, Starbucks all had same-store sales decline. Who was the other one? Another big company had struggling sales, and I was like, oh, this is interesting. But yet Walmart had a big jump in same-store sales. Now, guys, behind me is the Case-Shiller Home Price Index. It came out a growth of 6.5% year over year and 0.4% for the month. This is 20 cities. We're in the Cleveland market, 6.7%, so a little bit better than average. The lowest one here is Portland. Suck it, all you hipsters. Okay, so that's actually surprising. I mean, I would have thought...
Look at Denver.
Where's Denver?
1.9.
Right here, 1.9. Look at San Diego, 8.7. That's a big one. Is it the highest? No, 9% is New York. Not a shock there. So, guys...
Vegas is really high.
Again, this is an exact example of why you never know what's going to happen. Who'd have thought that rates go from 0 to 5.25% to 5.5%, and that we would come out and say home prices are that much higher? Why? Lack of inventory, lack of supply. Remember, there's supply and demand in that supply and demand curve. People tend to only focus on the demand part. On that note, next month, there's going to be a decision made, and the CME group has a 0% chance of rates staying the same.
65.5% chance of a quarter point.
And a 34.5% chance of a half point cut.
God, I hope they cut by half.
He hopes they cut by half. Very, very interesting. Okay, now, Nvidia reports tomorrow, guys. What are they expected to report? Guys, this is what they're expected. $25.6 billion in revenue, 57 cents per share EPS. Let me show you how insane that is. Let's pull up NVIDIA's history. Guys, $25.6 billion in revenue. I'm on the annual statement on our software. They did $27 billion in all of 2022's fiscal year, the entire year. And now they're expected to do in one quarter $25.6 billion. They did every quarter. It'd be over $100 billion in revenue. This company is flossing. Mo, go ahead.
What did you say their expectation was? 25 point what?
6.
26.04 is what they did last quarter. So it's actually down. Interesting.
So sell NVIDIA, short the crap out of it like I did, and then lose your butt like I did?
I think that's the normal reaction, yeah.
Yeah, so guys, Nvidia is a great company, great margins, very little, like practically zero debt. I don't know what's smaller, their debt or their dividend. Their dividend's like $300 million on a $3.2 trillion company. Go ahead.
They're the greatest company ever or fraud.
Dalton was telling me the other day, and I'm like, oh my God, have you been talking to Mo? Because why? I'm like, he says that Nvidia is a fraud. And it's like,
I didn't say it's a fraud. I said it's either the greatest company ever or fraud.
By the way, I think there's an in-between.
These jumps are insane.
But the AI boom has really taken hold.
Yeah, true.
And this is a company that makes a real product, has real revenue. I'm going to murder Mo. Mark that on. By the way, speaking of murder, I am absolutely obsessed with the Scott Peterson.
Yeah, so I started watching yesterday.
The one on Peacock.
Yes, I got through.
So for those of you who haven't watched it, don't watch the one on Netflix.
It's so boring.
The one on Netflix, we literally, Lisa was like, this is so boring. I'm like, let's go to the one on Peacock.
It was good.
Peacock one was great.
Yeah. So I got to start episode 2 tonight. It was really
good.
Oh,
you only did episode 1?
I did episode 1. Episode 2 started.
So I'm gonna say this. This is how big I am on freedoms. This is gonna blow some people's minds. I believe Scott Peterson is guilty. I don't think he should have been convicted. I think he should be a free man. I don't think there was any evidence. I don't think the prosecution put a good enough case together to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that it was him.
Based on one episode, I am leaning that way so far.
So it's funny you mentioned that because Lisa's watching the whole thing going, he's guilty, he's guilty, he's guilty. And I'm like, Lisa, I agree. And then finally at the end, she was like, well, maybe. It's hard for people to get behind the idea of somebody's guilty, but they should be free. Yeah. And I told Lisa, I'm like, this is my point. My point about this is that we live in a society and we have a judicial system where we can't just convict somebody based on how we feel about them.
Burden is on the prosecution to prove it.
They have the entire resources of the U.S. government against you. If they can't prove it beyond a reasonable doubt, there was no, what's funny? I remember Lisa was like, well, they found the bodies in the lake. I'm like, Lisa, they found the bodies 5 months later in the lake after they announced the entire world. And by the way, at the very end of the 3rd episode, he finally said, and by the way, the prosecution told everybody in the world where I was fishing. And it's funny, I said that in like episode 1. I'm like, Lisa, they told everybody where he was fishing. Like if I'm a smart guy who's going to murder somebody and dump a body, I'd be like, oh, they're telling me.
Oh, they're there? I'm going there.
Now,
there's the body.
Is that reaching? Yes. But no murder weapon found? But no physical evidence whatsoever found, like except for one thing.
Also, it's reaching, but the point is you have to prove that it's not reaching, you know?
This is the point, exactly.
Yeah.
You have to sit there and say, like with OJ, how much DNA, how much blood was everywhere? His house, his car, every single place he found. It's like, listen, everywhere you turn, there was blood. With Scott Peterson, there was one thing. And that one thing is, on his pliers, they had some of her hair on there.
The hair on the needle nose.
You know, I'm a big proponent of the Innocence Project.
Yeah.
They took on his case.
Oh, really?
The LA Innocence Project. And the LA Innocence Project is very clear. We do not take on a case that we don't think has merit to show the person didn't do it. I am surprised. I actually do believe Scott Peterson did murder his wife. But there's a lot of things there that are very interesting. So anyways, we got a little bit of a tangent. If you disagree with me, say in the comments below. Or message me on Twitter, tweet at me. I love engaging on the Scott Peterson thing. And you better keep this in the video, right, Tim? Absolutely. Okay, guys. Subscribe to the channel. Follow me on Twitter. Thank you very much for your time.